Hi everyone, welcome to Geek Latte. I'm Cindy and today I'm doing a video blog about this way, The Last Unicorn, or more precisely, the author of The Last Unicorn, which is Peter S. Beagle. I have this awesome book here. So if you've been watching my channel, you know that I just came back from my very first comic convention, which is a comic and entertainment convention. So it had a lot of other things besides comics. I had authors, artists, celebrities, gaming stuff, all kinds of things. There wasn't actual gaming developers there though, but there was illustrators, people who worked in the gaming industry, and a lot of merchandising. But I had the absolute pleasure and honor of meeting one of my childhood heroes that I, for a long time, really didn't know about him because I was very much enamored of the Last Unicorn movie, and that's what I mostly knew about from my childhood. So if you look, over here, just posted a picture of what the Last Unicorn movie looked like. And that's from very early on in the movie where they show where the unicorn lived in her forest and introduced everything. So the anime style is very I want to say Asian, but that's what people think of when they look at it. I think it looks manga-esque or like Japanese animation, right? And that's, I'm not really I can't remember who the original artists were, but I don't believe it's specifically is just inspired. There's I think I might have mentioned in video or blog a long time ago before that a lot of French artists and European artists were for decades and decades have been inspired by Eastern animation. So that's why you would, like in French animation, that this, like the Last Unicorn type of graphics and artistry is very prevalent. Anyway, enough about that. I want to talk about the actual author, the guy who wrote the book, Last Unicorn, that the movie is based on, or is on. I think there's a few details in the books that's not in the movie, but it basically is this pretty close to the same thing. I found a graphic novel, which is this guy here, and I just instantly bought it. And then I was told that the author was actually at the convention, so I went and sought him out and got his autograph. So, which was freaking unbelievable. There's the autograph there, Peter S. Beagle. And The Last Unicorn had a really big impact on me as a child on various reasons. As I grew up and I look into totems and, you know, animal totems, that kind of stuff, I've looked into a lot of different spirituality things. And to my surprise and delight, I found that the unicorn was actually one of my totem animals in some of the shamanistic paths. Not to go too much into that, but so the unicorn has always been meant a lot to me. It's not just, you know, imagination and all that, but purity, innocence, that kind of stuff. And the movie, if you've seen it, is also a lot about doing the right thing despite what you would most desire, you know, in order for the greater good kind of thing. And it's very heartbreaking type of story, but it's very deep, very emotional. Anyway, people, if you guys have seen this when you were little, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And even watching it again and again, even as an adult, is still quite poignant, if not more so, because you now have that life experience. So it was quite an honor to meet Peter. He is a lovely man. I think he's around 73 or so. I'm not too sure, 72, 73. I'm not entirely sure. But, and he was telling me he's constantly astounded by how many people this book has touched and how much it influenced people. Like, for him, it's just he was saying it's just a story that he was trying to get out the door. Obviously, I think it's a very personal story for him as well, but I guess he rewrote it many times before it was finally published, and to the point where you know, you kind of get sick of a project that you've been working on for so hard and you just don't want to see it anymore. So that's kind of what it sounded like, and when he was telling me that, yeah, it's like it took forever for this damn book to come out, and I rewrote so many parts over and over. But it's fantastic. It's a freaking masterpiece as far as I'm concerned. Also, I found something, there's a really cool story regarding my avatar, Death, and I was cosplaying Death at the convention, and as I was waiting in line to meet Peter Beagle, one of his assistants, people who's helping with the merchandise and just getting everybody in order, asked me if I knew the connection between Neil Gaiman's Death and Peter's Lady Death. And I was like, well, I didn't know Peter had a Lady Death. And it's actually in this book that I bought, like, as soon as I heard the story, I just had to have it. And it's the rhinoceros who quoted Nietzsche and other odd acquaintances. This is actually a collection of short stories that he wrote. The first story, which is actually this story here about the rhino, made me cry. And I was in the car on our way back, and I was like trying not to cry so hard, but I was totally choked up. It's a very, very intense story. It's Peter, actually, when he saw that I had this book, he said, okay, this is what he looks like here. Actually, this is from a while back. He looks older than that now. He said that this the rhinoceros, to quote Nietzsche, was a very personal story. And it feels like the main character in there is him. So, yeah. Okay, here's the signature to get that away. Yay! And so the second story in here is the Lady Death. It says, "Come, Lady Death." And I haven't read the story yet. So I haven't made the dot yet, but I was told that the Lady Death of the story is what Neil Gaiman based his own death on, and that's why she's the way she is. That's why she was this young, attractive girl, not very old, just, sort of eternally youthful girl that very, very had such a nice smile and good attitude, and bringing people to their death, but also having such an optimistic and wonderful outlook on life, even though she is death. So that's actually why I like the character of Neil Gaiman's Death, and that's, I'm very excited to read the story to see where the inspiration came from. So I was completely astounded at two of my favorite authors kind of influenced each other, or one influenced the other, so to speak. And yeah, I thought that was really, really special and cool. So I thought I would share that story with you guys and tell you about more of my swag. So if you haven't seen the movie The Last Unicorn, for some unknown reason, you have got to look this up. It's it's just, you just have to see it. And it doesn't matter if you don't really usually like that type of animation, or if you're a reader, just look up The Last Unicorn novel. There's a novel. This is the graphic novel I was telling you. Here's a little bit of what it looks like inside. And there are a few details that I've noticed already from going through it that are not in the movie, or that I just kind of mentioned really fast in the movie, but not explained, that actually are in the graphic novel. So that's pretty freaking awesome. That the illustration is off the charts. It's very similar to the movie, but it's not exactly the same. So the characters don't look exactly the same, but who cares? Doesn't really matter. And the unicorn looks pretty much the same, which made me pretty happy. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed this edition of my video blog. And you leave comments if you've seen The Lost Unicorn or not, or anything, if you've read anything else by Peter S. Beagle. I should let you know as well that Neil Gaiman has actually come back to Sandman, and he's releasing more stories of the Endless family. So we're going to be, he said he's going to reveal more secrets and background on them. Obviously a lot on Sandman. So, and that's gonna be, it's published by DC, but it's Vertigo. And the only digital app that I found that has him is I forget. It's actually pissing me off. Oh, Comixology. It's Comixology, and I guess Comixology just got stupid. So, but if you really want it digitally and you can't get it, like me, I don't have a comic book store here. The nearest comic book store is like 2 hours away, or an hour and a half, or whatever. It's a wee bit away, so it's easier for me to get them through an app. So yeah, and yeah, tell me if you have read other Peter S. Beagle. He has an absolutely wonderful imagination and very rich storytelling. So anyway, see you later.